Hi, my name is Cece. Come with me as I share my journey to becoming a PA.
What first led you into healthcare?
I've always been very interested in just overall health. I did initially go to school for undergrad, planning to eventually become a physical therapist. I actually had this amazing class in undergrad where we had different healthcare professionals come and speak with us. So one week it was a doctor, another week it was a podiatrist, another week it was a prosthetist, and then eventually we got to the week that the PA came, and I was like a kid in a candy store. Like everything they were telling me, I was like on the edge of my seat, waiting to talk to them about more. So that really kind of solidified my desire to be a PA.
You were a Fulbright semifinalist and studied abroad in Italy. What was that experience like for you?
Being a Fulbright semifinalist was really truly an honor. I did apply to the Fulbright with hopes of getting a secondary master's in electrophysiology, cardiac simulation, and new cardiac technologies. As much as I love vascular surgery, I also have an interest in cardiology, which I think really marries well in the specialty, especially with caring all of our patients, a lot of whom have cardiac history as well. I loved studying abroad. I stayed with the best host family. They were so nice. I really felt like I was one of their own children. I had two little siblings when I stayed with the host family, so that was really great.
When did you first learn about the physician assistant profession?
So my primary care provider and also my mom's primary care provider have always been PAs. Ever since I was young, I just remember seeing Paige, shout out Paige, who was my primary care provider back in Connecticut, where I'm from, and my mom also saw a PA. And it took me a little bit to realize that Paige was a PA. You know, when you're a little kid, you don't know that. But then as I got older, I was like, wait, you're a PA? I want to be a PA. So it was nice to have her.
What made it stand out to you?
I think everyone in healthcare is so important. I just liked the idea of being a PA because I liked the idea of having a degree of autonomy to be able to care and treat for my patients myself. And also I like the idea of having a collaborating physician with whom I can share my ideas and my thoughts. And then also the idea of being able to share or switch specialties was appealing to me. In COVID, we kind of saw how important it is for healthcare professionals to be able to move when necessary.
After graduating, what was your first step entering clinical practice like?
After graduating from PA school, my first step into clinical practice was here. This is my first job after PA school, and I'm very happy to still be here. I think that it was kind of scary at first, but luckily I have a lot of great people who work here with me that helped me kind of get used to the flow here at AMI, and then also seeing patients and learning how to look at ultrasound images, CAT scans, and just overall what we do here.
How did your journey lead you specifically to the Vascular Institute?
So when I was a PA student at Monmouth University, I met Dr. Cierra on my clinical rotation. I was very nervous to go into the OR because as a student, we're told that it can be a little bit scary, but I met Dr. Cierra outside of his case that I was about to scrub into. And I was like, hi, Dr. Cierra, I'm the student. I was very timid and shy. And he goes, hey, what's up? I'm Matt. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's so friendly. And then from being his student, I did a lot of cases with him, which ultimately helped me to kind of learn about vascular surgery, because before that, honestly, I hadn't really heard much about it. And then we just kind of kept in contact as I was finishing PA school. And then ultimately, I found out about the job here, and the rest is kind of history.
What has your experience been like as a woman in medicine?
So being a woman in medicine is extremely empowering. I think that there are so many amazing women that I get the opportunity to work with and learn from, especially here at the Vascular Institute. Our female physicians, Dr. McCabe and Dr. Ginto, have offered me so much knowledge, as well as the other female APPs. I feel like I really get to learn a lot, and I feel like the women here really lift each other up, and I think that that's the best part of being a woman in medicine.
Looking back, what were the most important steps that actually shaped your path to becoming a PA?
I think the most important steps, other than obviously getting good grades, were things that I did that helped me meet the right people. I think that I was very fortunate as an undergrad student to get a job as a medical scribe, where some of the doctors and PAs and NPs that I worked with were so knowledgeable and also so motivating and empowering and really wanted to see me succeed. And then after undergrad, I had a job as a medical assistant, and same thing, the doctors, the PAs, the nurses, the NPs, everyone I worked with really gave me a lot of insight and really wanted to see me grow and learn as a person. I remember when I was a medical assistant, I would get a little annoyed sometimes because they'd be like, all right, Cece, and why am I giving this medication to the patient? And why am I doing this? And why am I doing that? And I'm like, I have all these patients to go get in the room. Like, I don't have time for these questions. But honestly, all those things really, really helped me to not only get into the PA profession, but to do well as a PA student.
What advice would you give someone who wants to become a physician assistant today?
I would tell them that grades are important, but you really need to find a job that helps you understand medicine. You know, I think it's easy to say like, oh, I want to go in to be a PA or a doctor or a nurse or whatever. But I think that finding a job that really shows you what your day-to-day life will be like is important, and getting that direct patient care hours, because no matter what you read online or in a textbook, there's nothing that can supplement the real thing, which is having that direct contact with the patients.
What do you think students should focus on most if they want to get into PA school?
I think students should obviously focus on academics. That's very important. And you know, you need to have a certain GPA and science GPA to get into PA school. But I also think you need to focus on being a real person. You know, have clubs that you're interested, have hobbies, do things that maybe may not look like a normal thing to do. Like, I majored in exercise science and I had a minor in Italian, and people were like, why did you do that? And I was like, because I love it. And I think that it's important that you need to be a real person too, in order to not only get into PA school, but do well in PA school.